All right, let's talk about two words that get mixed up all the time, and that confusion can cause some real problems. We're diving into compersion and cuckolding. One's a deep emotional experience. The other is a very specific kind of sexual fantasy. And you know what? Understanding the difference isn't just trivia. It's actually super important for your relationships and your own peace of mind. So, let's get this straightened out. Really, it all boils down to this one simple question. Are we talking about an emotion, or are we talking about a fantasy? One is all about love and connection, and the other, that's about arousal and what turns you on. If you can get this one distinction, I promise everything else is going to click right into place. And look, this isn't just about getting the dictionary definition right. When we mix these two up, it can lead to some serious hurt, a huge breach of trust, and just a whole lot of emotional pain. That's why we've got to be crystal clear. So let's start with the one most people have probably never even heard of. First up is compersion. And I want you to think of this as a journey inward, into an emotion that can really challenge our basic ideas about what love is supposed to look and feel like. So what is it? Simply put, it's that genuine feeling of happiness you get when you see your partner totally lit up with joy, even if another person is the source of that joy. It's actually a pretty new word, only came about in the 80s, mostly because for a lot of us, this idea feels, well, pretty alien. The easiest way to think about it, it's basically the polar opposite of jealousy. Jealousy makes us feel tight, scared, like we're contracting. Compersion is the opposite. It's about opening up, expanding with joy. I love this quote because it just captures the feel of it so perfectly. Jealousy, man, it screams in your ear, right? It's all sharp edges and alarm bells. But compersion, it's not this big, dramatic fireworks show. It's more like a quiet, steady warmth spreading through your chest. It's your heart opening up instead of slamming shut. So what do you need to even feel something like this? What's the psychological recipe? Well, it usually starts with what we call a secure attachment, that feeling that you're loved and valued no matter what. Then you add a big dose of non-possessive love, where you love someone without feeling like you own them. You also need a really solid sense of your own self, so your identity isn't totally wrapped up in your partner. And finally, you need an abundance mindset. This deep belief that love and joy aren't, pizza slices, where if someone else gets one, there's less for you. Okay, let's do a complete 180 now and talk about something totally different, cuckolding. We are officially leaving the land of emotional frameworks and entering the world of sexual ones. This isn't a relationship style, it's a kink. It's a specific erotic desire. The absolute keyword on this slide is aroused. That is the whole ballgame right there. Compersion is about feeling emotional joy for your partner. Cuckolding is about getting turned on by what your partner is doing. You take away the sexual excitement and the entire concept of cuckolding just vanishes. It's gone. And it's important to know that cuckolding isn't just one thing. It really exists on a spectrum. For a lot of people, it lives entirely in their imagination. Role play, dirty talk. For others, it moves into real life, maybe watching or hearing about it. And for some, it goes even further, bringing in elements of humiliation or power play. But the one thing that has to be true across the board for it to be ethical, it is always consensual. The psychology behind why this is a turn-on is, well, it's fascinating. You've got evolutionary ideas like sperm competition theory. There's the undeniable thrill of breaking a huge social taboo. For some, it's even about transforming a feeling like pain into pure arousal. And for a lot of people, especially those in high-stress, high-control jobs, it can be about the incredible release that comes from just surrendering control. Okay, so we've got our two big ideas on the table. Now let's put them side by side and really hammer home the differences. This is where we get that clarity we've been looking for. First thing, motivation. It's basically heart versus body. Compersion is motivated by seeing your partner happy, and that joy expands your heart. Cuckolding is motivated by seeing your partner's sexual encounter, and that excitement ignites your body. Two totally different goals. Now, this one is huge. How do they relate to jealousy? Compersion is like the antidote to jealousy. The whole point is to work through it and replace it with joy. Cuckolding, though, it often takes that raw, intense energy of jealousy and uses it as fuel for the fire. It channels that feeling directly into sexual arousal. And finally, let's talk power. Compersion really thrives on a foundation of equality and mutual respect.
But cuckolding is almost always built around a power dynamic. That consensual exchange of power, whether it's submission or dominance, is often a central part of the whole fantasy. So here it is, the whole thing in a nutshell. Look at this. On one side, you have an emotional experience, on the other, an erotic one. It's joy versus arousal. It's transforming jealousy versus using it as fuel. One challenges our ideas of romantic exclusivity, the other challenges our ideas of the masculine sexual ego. This table really is the core of it all.
Okay, that's the what. Now for the so what. How do we take all this information and actually use it to navigate our own lives and our own relationships? Let me be really clear here. The danger isn't the fantasy, it's the dishonesty. Trying to pass off a cuckolding desire as some kind of enlightened compersion, well, that is a massive breach of trust and consent. It's not fair and it's not honest. Radical honesty here is non-negotiable. So, are you curious about cultivating compersion? Here's how you can dip a toe in. Start small. Try to notice it in your friendships first, like when your best friend gets a promotion. Then when jealousy pops up, don't just shove it away. Get curious about it. Where is it coming from? And all the while, keep working on your own self-worth and security. And please, if you're exploring this with a partner, go painfully slow. This is deep emotional work. You can't rush it. And what if you're navigating a cuckolding fantasy? First things first, let go of the shame. So many people have this fantasy, you are not alone. Second, get really honest with yourself. Is this something you want to keep as a fantasy, or do you want to explore it in reality? They're very different things. Third, you have to have the full, honest, sober conversation with your partner. And finally, if you do decide to act on it, make emotional aftercare an absolute priority. You have to protect that connection. So after all this, the definitions, the psychology, the advice, what's the one big thing to take away? It's not just about learning a couple of new words. It's about getting to something much, much deeper. And this is it. This is the ultimate question. What do you actually want? And do you have the courage to be honest about it, first with yourself and then with the people you love? Because whether we're talking about compersion or cuckolding, the one thing they both demand when explored ethically is radical, sometimes uncomfortable honesty. And the more we can bring that kind of truth into every part of our lives, the emotional, the erotic, the messy, the beautiful, well, the more alive we're all going to be.